Hello, how are you? Patty here again. Normally on my channel, you see me doing stuff out in the garage or building stuff or repairing and doing things like that. But there's lots of things around that need repairing and fixing. And one of them is my very near and dear to me childhood teddy bear right here. Yeah, he's looking a little flat because I took the stuffing out of him. Second, so what happened was, being that the material is very old, little threadbare in parts like next to his neck and where his ear starts and stuff, that it was actually pulling apart. There was nothing else to sew to. So he smelled horrible. Mind you, this bear is 50 years old. He was given to me by a family friend. Our families used to exchange Christmas presents. And very close family friends of ours, the mom sewed this teddy bear for me. Now in the 60s, you could get bolts of cloth that had like the front and the back to different characters, like a bear or a rabbit or a doll or whatever. It was just like very, very 2D, like front and back, and you would sew it together. Well, this was given to me when I was very young, and I just fell in love with him. And he's been my bestie buddy ever since. And he's been packed away, and he survived pretty well, but he was extremely loved. So there were a lot of stress points in the cloth. This is what I decided to do. I'll show you. Now, he's apart. He's in two pieces, okay? This is the actual outline. You can even see the printed sew marks, right? So what you did was you got the flat cloth off the bolt at the store. It'd be the front of them and the back of them, or, you know, whatever character you were buying, you know, maybe about this long, and then it was cut off, and you took your two pieces home, you sewed them together, you stuffed it, and there you had instant animal. Oh, well, you can see how it just disintegrated at certain stress points. I guess I loved him a whole lot all the time. So there's nothing there to sew to, and my mom, at the time, you know, kept repairing him. And like on this other side, there was a point where like half his ear was gone because it was threadbare, and you just had to you know, make do with the best you could. So what I did was I took all the stuffing out. I carefully took the seams apart so he was clean. Oh, I turned him inside out, put him in the washer after I took out the stuffing, washed him, dried him. Now he was clean. Carefully took the stitching out, all right, of the now clean material. Recognized where all some threadbare holes were through the material. I don't know if you can see the holes. But there were holes there. You can see this because I'm putting it up to the sunlight. See, like the little holes? And it was just threadbare. I mean, the material is old, granted. So what I decided to do was to take that hem bond stuff that you can get at the cloth store, and it's like fusing. Like if you don't want to hem your pants, you put it up, you put this hem bond stuff on the inside, you take your iron, steam it, you follow the directions, and there you go, the seam is on there. So that's what I did for this. I used that hem bond material, product, and I steamed and fused onto it pieces of cloth as opposed to sewing it, because you don't want to pull and make it threadbare. So I used scrap cloth of a blue color and did that. So now all those holy spots are missing. Also, around the whole perimeter, on the wrong side of the material, around the whole perimeter of him, I did that also, as you can see, on both the front and the back pieces. Okay? There's a little air here, you know. This is where it bonded. And I did that all around so that I would have something stable to sew to when I put them back together. And then when I put them back together, he will have sturdy material to sew to. And this hem bond doesn't have to live, you know, 1,000 years. What it's doing is just making frayed material like this whole again. So when I sew, there's something strong to cling to. You know, I'll do it right like this, and you'll be able to see it. Now I'm downstairs where my sewing machine is, and I'm putting the bear together. I want to show you a section where his ears come down and then meet his paws. It's kind of like a hard point. So I'm just going to kind of round it off when I sew it. But because of the threadbare situation that we're dealing with him, if you can see here on the machine, this is his original cloth. That dark blue under there is that cloth that I had used this product with. It's called Stitch Witchery, but it's that bonding tape. So I used that underneath there, but there's still like a pull. And I said, you know what? Let me do a little skin graft on my cloth bear. I'm just going to go back and forth with some stitches and make it stay, kind of make it a little sturdier. I'll go up slowly, get to a point, keep the needle in, spin it around, and go back the other way. I'll do this just a few times just to get it to stay onto my new married cloth. I want to show you as he's right side out on this corner. I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to leave it alone. I started to maybe mock some of his fur direction. I said, you know what? I'm going to leave it be. You know, more needles and more pokes don't necessarily make it happier. Now, if you look on the other side of the bear, here was that side. If you look on this side, see where this stitch line is? It kind of fades away and goes away. Here it's just pretty much absent till you see it up here again. So where I added and fused the extra blue cloth, it stuck with the fusing, but what I'm also doing is reinforcing that frayed material by just sewing it down onto that thicker fused material. And to see the back side of it, this is what it looks like. And you'll see how many times I went back and forth to reinforce it. I'm trimming away some of the thread, but just zigzagging back and forth to reinforce. And that's this older cloth to this newer cloth. This I'm not going to touch. That was a hole. You can see the dark blue behind it because I fused on a patch. It was actually pinched together and sewn at some point, and this is what you saw, like that kind of effect. Yeah, it was always there, and it could have been a nice childhood memory, but it was more like a childhood fear. Like I didn't want him to die. I don't want him to fall apart. So now I know he's good. Okay, so he's finished being put together and sewn. I left an opening at the bottom to be stuffed, and I'll probably do it by hand after. Something that's funny is my daughter showed me this is his old stuffing that was in him. She said save a little bit and put it over in his heart area. I thought that was real sweet. So I'm going to use this polyfill for him. I hope I have enough. And then I'll put his heart stuffing in right there. And then hopefully we can sew him up. So now he's being stuffed, and I'm making sure to get in and work all those areas. Make sure it gets poked out and stuffed properly. Like this here, see how his ear's a little crinkly? It's deceiving because that's some of his fuzz from his inner cloth and outer cloth. See, like right there. But yeah, you have to try and get it all rounded out there. And he's doing pretty good. You can see here the old and the new fabric. Not old and new, like the aging of this part, and that's like the color it was when it was new. I didn't want to bring those seams together too much because it makes such a hard pinch point. You still see his rounded ears. He's good. It was a very, very difficult pinch point on him. Besides him being threadbare, just like this was a bad pinch point. It's solid now. I did the sew grafting of his skin, right? Same thing on this side. This was just missing. This is new material. Then I grafted him onto it. So if you notice, he's got the same profile. This one is the same. I just got to get more stuffing in there. It's hard to show you one-handed. So, yeah. Oh, he's so cute. He's my, what? Yeah, he's my best friend. You know, I don't want to say anything, but he's like 50 years old. So, oh, look at this. Here's his heart, remember? My daughter said to take this old stuffing, that's what he was born with, and go ahead. And we're going to go on the bottom. And even one-handedly. Here you go, buddy. Boop, boop, right there. There it is. He's still got his original heart. Okay, I'm going to finish up stuffing in the bottom. Then I'll sew them by hand. I don't think I'll do machine. I'll see. Now that I sewed the bottom together, I just wanted to show you that the top thread and the bobbin thread that are left over, I go ahead and I tie these into a knot like 3 times, and they cut them real short. And then I just do that just to seal it off. And there you have it. He's all done. He's sealed up on the bottom. See some of that stitching? I didn't, where that old stitch line is, I didn't quite get that. But sometimes trying to make it too perfect can lead you into trouble too. But in my opinion, he is perfect. not just because I love him, but look, he's got kind of like a little bit of a rounded head. He's got 2 rounded ears, fairly symmetrical, that goes into a neck and into 2 paws and then feet. Whereas before, he was repaired so many times. Can you see this line right here? Believe it or not, that's where, because of how narrow this cloth was, my mom had stitched him up, and to blend it, instead of having this like 90-degree lump hanging out the side, I'm sure she was thinking of that. She kind of blended it up and went in. So technically, he was losing a lot of his pink ear. He was like this. And, you know, I still loved him, but look, you got your ear back. There you go. Isn't that good for you? I think he looks great. He's been grafted. All right, that light doesn't make it the prettiest. But he's skin grafted, and I'm telling you, it's strong. No stress there. Yeah, those were big stress points before. Same over here. It's a little messy looking, but you know what? He's a hometown kind of bear. He says it's okay. He doesn't mind rolling like that. He is sturdy. My bobbin thread wasn't cooperating. So this is all grafted. It's not coming apart. It's just old fuzz from the edge of the original material and trying to get them grafted. So I am so happy that he's back and he's happy and he's got new stuffing. And he says, "Thank you for watching."